Today we're going to review equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions. Choose the best answer. A, the number below the line in a common fraction, a divisor. B, different fractions that name the same number. Or C, the number above the line in a common fraction showing how many parts are taken. How would you define equivalent fractions? The correct answer is B, different fractions that name the same number. Let's review another term. Numerator. A, the number below the line in a common fraction, a divisor. B, different fractions that name the same number. Or C, the number above the line in a common fraction showing how many parts are taken. Which answer is correct for the definition of a numerator? The correct answer is C, the number above the line in a common fraction showing how many parts are taken. Let's review one more term. Denominator. A, the number below the line in a common fraction, a divisor. B, different fractions that name the same number. Or C, the number above the line in a common fraction showing how many parts are taken. What is the correct answer for the definition of a denominator? The correct answer is A, the number below the line in a common fraction, a divisor. Notice that the strips are the same length. In visual models, when you're comparing fractions to determine their equivalence, the size of the model should be the same. Notice on these strips that have already been cut out, each strip is the same length to allow for a valid comparison. For example, if we compare halves and fourths, we will be able to quickly see which are equivalent. We know that because these lines line up, 1/2 is equivalent to 1, 2, 2/4. So 1/2 is equal to 2/4. Let's try another one. Let's look at halves and thirds. However, on these strips, none of the lines line up. Therefore, for these strips, there isn't an equivalence. Let's look at another set of strips, 1/2 compared to tenths. We can see that it does line up since our lengths are equal. These line up. So 1/2 would be equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5/10. We know that 1/2 is the same size as 1/10 using our fraction strips. So as you can see, when using visual models to compare fractions to determine their equivalence, the size of the strips or the size of the models must be the same in order to compare, as we showed with our examples. We can also determine equivalent fractions with number lines. As you can see here, our number lines are again the same length. In order to make comparisons, this is important. So given that our fractions are shown on number lines of the same length, we can make comparisons. On this number line chart, we have drawn a yellow line to show where some of our lines line up, similar to the visual models we just did. So if we look at 1/2, it lines up with 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, and 5/10. Therefore, all of these, 1/2, 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, and 5/10, are equivalent. The same happens with 1/3. It lines up when we do a straight line to 2/6 and 3/9. They all have the same distance from 0 to 1/3 0 to 2/6, 0 to 3/9. They are the same size. They are equal. So let's look at an example. 1/2. Is 1/2 equal to 1/3, 2/4, or 2/5? We can use our fraction strips to see. Here's 1/2. We'll line it up with our thirds, make sure end to end is lined up. We'll use our 4ths and we'll use our 5ths. 1/2 equal to 1/3. So here's 1/2. Is it equal to 1/3? I don't think so. Let's try the next one. 1/2. Is it equal to 2/4? 1/2. Does it draw the line down to 2/4? It looks like it does line up. That may be equal, but let's check. 1/2, 2/5. Here's our distance to 1/2. Here's our distance to 2/5. Notice our ends all line up. So it's a good comparison. 1/2, 2/5. Nope, it looks like 2/5 is smaller. So for this problem, 1/2 does equal 1/2/4. The correct answer would be B. 1/2 equals 2/4. Let's try another example with our fraction strips. In this example, we have 2/3. Is that equivalent to 6/9, 4/5, or 7/8? So we're going to be comparing thirds, ninths, fifths, and eighths. We start with the denominator to compare. Thirds, ninths, fifths, or eighths. We have thirds, ninths, fifths, and eighths. Notice our strips are the same length and lined up. Now we can do a comparison. We're looking at 2/3. 1, 2. So we're looking at this line here to compare. 2/3. And we're going to compare it to 6/9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/9. Looks like it may line up with 2/3. Let's check the other ones. 2/3 and 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4/5 ends here. Go back up to our 1, 2/3. 1, 2, 3, 4/5 here, 2/3 here. They don't seem to line up. 2/3 and 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/8 all the way down here. 2/3 is 1, 2. That's our line. 7/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 was over here. They don't line up. Remember, our strips are all the same length, so we can make a nice comparison. Therefore, I believe 6/9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6/9 does line up with 1, 2/3. Therefore, 2/3 is equal to 6/9 A. Remember, we can also determine equivalent fractions with number lines. On this card, the bird is on 1/3. We want to know that 1/3 equals which fraction in sixths? Notice the number lines are the same length, so we can make an accurate comparison. 1/3 lines up with 2/6. The distance from 0 to 1/3 is the same as the distance from 0 to 2/6. Therefore, 1/3 equals 2/6. We will try one more example. This time we're comparing fourths and eighths. 1/4 equals how many eighths? Notice the bird is on the 4th. The distance from 0 to 1/4 is the same as the distance from 0 to which one? Notice the number lines are the same length. If you said 2/8, you would be correct. The distance from 0 to 1/4 is the same or equivalent to the distance from 0 to 2/8. 1/4 equals 2/8. Nice work. Let's try another one. This time, the bird is on 1/2, and we're comparing it to fourths. 1/2 is equal to how many fourths? The distance from 0 to 1/2 is the same as the distance from 0 to 2/4. Notice we can line it up and make comparisons because our fraction number lines are the same length, so it's an accurate comparison. 1/2 is the same distance from 0 as 2/4. 1/2 equals 2/4. Let's try another comparison to find an equivalent fraction. This time the bird is on 1/6. 1/6 equals how many 12ths? Notice the number lines are the same length for an accurate comparison. The distance from 0 to 1/6 is the same as the distance from 0 to 2/12. Therefore, 1/6 and 2/12 are equal. 1/6 equals 2/12 for an equivalent fraction. Here's a worksheet for some extra practice. Let's just try a couple problems. Number 1, 1/2 equals blank tenths. So we are comparing halves and tenths as our denominators. We have the strips ready. We have halves and tenths. And remember, they have to be the same length in order to compare them. So we need to compare 1/2 is equal to how many tenths? Here's 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1/2 is the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths. Therefore, our answer is 5. 1/2 equals 5 tenths. Let's try one more example from our worksheet. Let's try number 2. 1/3 equals how many ninths? Our denominators are thirds and ninths. So we will be comparing thirds and ninths. We have our strips ready. We have thirds and ninths. We're comparing 1/3. 1/3 is the same as how many ninths? Notice our fraction strips are the same size and lined up. So where is 1/3? 1, 2, 3. 1/3 is the same as 1, 2, 3 ninths. They're the same amount. Therefore, 1/3 equals 3 ninths. And we broke our pencil. 1/3 equals 3 ninths. Let's do a little experiment. Let's see how many fourths equal 1/2, but let's use measuring cups and some colored water. Let's put a little bit in there. Drink a little more. Okay, we need to know how many fourths equal 1/2. We can see on our strips, well, let's try it with our measuring cups. Here is 1/2. So let's fill up 1/2. just like on our strip. And let's pour it carefully into our cup. One half. Now we want to know how many fourths will it take to equal 1/2. We have a good idea from our strips, but let's try it. 1/4. Let's pour it into our cup. And let's see. 1/4 does not equal 1/2, but we know that because 1/4 on here is not the same as 1/2. So let's try another one. Now we've added 1 and we're adding 1 more, so that equals 2/4. So we put 1/2 in this cup, and in this cup we put 2/4. 1/2 equals 1/2. Let's check it and see. And they are the same amount in the cup. 1/2 does equal 1/2 because we put in 2/4 in the cup, and we put in 1/2 in this cup, and they are equal. Now that we've reviewed equivalent fractions, let's take a quiz. But first, let's do a sample. Notice we have fractions. We have one fraction here and 2 choices. Notice that the boxes are the same size, so we can make an accurate comparison with these visual models. So we would like to know which fraction is equivalent. We have 1 part shaded in out of 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1/4. Is it equivalent to A or to B? It appears that this size and this size are the same, so it would be the same as B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're working in eighths. How many are shaded in? 2. 2/8 is equal to 1/4. The shaded parts are the same size altogether. This one is too small. It's not the same shaded amount altogether. So A is not correct, B is correct. To show the answer is correct with our fraction strips, we have 1 part shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1/4. We have 2 parts shaded out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2/8. 2 out of the 8 total parts are shaded. 2/8 is the same as 1/4. Same amount shaded. Same amount. So B is the correct answer. Are you ready for the quiz? You may write your answers on your own paper, or your teacher may provide you with the student response form that can be found in the link below. If not, use your own paper. Number 1. Which shape is equivalent? The kitty cat is on a shape. Is A or B the same size shaded part as the sample? Write your answer on number 1, A or B. Number 2, the kitty cat's on a shape where it has 1 out of 2 parts shaded, 1/2. Is A or B the same shaded amount? If you need more time, you may pause the video at any moment. Number 3. The kitty cat is on a shape with a small shaded area. Is A or B the same total shaded area? Which answer is equivalent? The same size. Number 4. Which shape is equivalent? Here's your original shape. Is A or B equivalent in size? Look carefully. Number 5. Remember, you may pause at any moment if you need more time. Which shape is equivalent to this one? A or B? Does A or B have the same size of shaded area? Which shape is equivalent? Number 6. Which shape is equivalent? A or B? Number 7. Which shape is equivalent? Here's our original one. A or B has the same size of shaded amount. Which shape is equivalent? Number 8. Which shape is equivalent? Number 9. Which shape is equivalent? You may pause at any time if you need more time to work. Last one, number 10. Which shape is equivalent? We will reveal the answers in a moment. Please pause if you need more time. Are you ready for the correct answers? Number 1, the correct answer is B. B is the same size. Number 2, which shape is equivalent? A has the same shaded area. Number 3, which shape is equivalent? This one is too big. The correct answer is A. Number 4, which shape is equivalent? A is just a little bit too big. B is the same shaded area. Number 5, which area is equivalent? Remember, it's important that these shapes are the same size, so we may make these comparisons. Which shape is equivalent to the blue shaded area? This is a little bit too big. B is the same equivalent shaded area. Which shape is equivalent for number 6? If you put A, you are correct. Number 7, which shape is equivalent? If you put B, you are correct. It is the same size of shaded area. Number 8, which shape is equivalent? A is the correct answer. It is the same shaded area in size. Number 9, this one's tricky. Look carefully. Same shaded area. That's the same color, but it's a little bigger. Same shaded area size is A. We can make these comparisons because all of the shapes are the same size. Last one, number 10. Which shape is equivalent? If you put A, You are correct. To compare your answer key, B is number 1, 2A, 3A, 4B, 5B, 6A, 7B, 8A, 9A, 10A. You may pause at any time to check your answers. If you would like more practice for all 30 problems, you may click the link below. We hope this video was helpful for equivalent fractions. If you are looking for more resources and more practice, please visit the links below. We have lots of principal resources for each of the Common Core standards in fractions for 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade.